Hello. Now we are going to look into more viewers' questions. So these are the questions that were asked on the last couple of videos. I'm going to go through them as best that I can. But I want to start with a couple things that I'm seeing mentioned a lot. And the first one is Enon Harsh. I know I'm not saying that first name right. And I just listened to it too before I started this. Him, the neighbor. I want to look into him. So let's get his energy. Page of Cups came out as I was saying that. That's not what I'm using for his energy, but that's going to be like a side part in whatever comes out here. Let's get Enon's energy, what he feels about the murders, and his connection to the murders, if any. So he's represented by the reversed Two of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles reversed. How he feels about the murders, a lost opportunity. The Ace of Pentacles is like taking back an offer. The Lovers in reverse. His connection to it. A breakup. In one of my last videos, I said something along the lines of, I felt like Brian was trying to like level up in some way in an organization. Or no, I said that about the other person that was moving his car. To me, this feels like Enon's connection to Brian is like that of a superior in some way. But how I said before that there was this organization and Brian messed something up. This is reading like Enon was the one that cut him loose. Like, you messed up. The Lovers in reverse coming out for his connection to the murders makes me feel like there's a connection. And he's the one who said he heard the scream. I feel like there's a connection here from him to Brian. I'm not getting that Enon was the one who committed the murders, but I am getting that there's some connection. Allegedly, my opinion. All of this is allegedly my opinion. The Lovers is making me feel like Brian messed something up and Enon is the one who put that sheath. So there was a card stuck to this, and it was the mental health card. It has like a red and a blue energy. Ace of Cups reversed. Yeah. I think that Enon has some connection to the organization that Brian has a connection to, which is the same organization that the girls knew something about that they were not supposed to know, the same organization that Hannah knew something about that she was not supposed to know. And I'm telling you, Enon took an opportunity back and broke up with Brian over this. Not in a romantic way, but in a like, nope, you're done. You fumbled. Bye. This page of, oh, the child. Brian was Enon's child, in a sense. Like, morphing him, raising him, programming him. What's Enon's energy? What's Enon's energy before the murders when it comes to Brian? I don't know if that's going to work. Hold on. No. What's his energy before the murders? And then what's his energy after the murders in regard to Brian? Do it that way. Oh, they both came out. So before the murders, matriarch, he works for the link. Oh my gosh. That's the direct connection from Brian to the link, is Enon. It's not Brian's direct connection to the link. Brian's connected to Enon. Enon is connected to the link. Rejection, opportunities, and consequences. And that's before the murders. Enon's energy before the murders is connected to this matriarch, mother of the plan, the link. Rejection. Opportunities, so bonding over a similar pain or something like that. Opportunity is, hey, you want to commit this type of crime, here's these people. Or, hey, you want to be involved in this, you have to do this, something. And consequences is that Lovers in reverse. Like, okay, bye, no more. Ace of Pentacles in reverse, Lovers in reverse. And the Ace of Cups is also in reverse, so it's cutting off that flow of the connection. And then after, so after is Enon's feelings about Brian, after. So it was in reverse. Anubis, Arbiter of Truth. Preservation, neutrality, and obligation. Remain neutral. Don't freak out. Just solve the problem. And look, he's holding a light up. Like, trying to create a situation where everything is back in his control again, in his hands. But we have, I mean, they're standing the same. She happens to have more bulky gear and armor on, while he has less on. So I'm feeling like this link is above Enon, but he's still connected because he's the link from Brian to this link. He even has a giant knife in his hand. So it's like connected to her, connected to him in different directions. What else can we know about Enon? Cheating. The phone. I said in the last reading, somebody was getting information from the girl's phone or device or something and getting it to someone that was getting it to the link. The neighbor. Enon. Confession. He's told someone. which honestly to me kind of fits in with his general attitude. But somebody knows that he's involved. I get a clarifier for the cheating card. Oh. Whoever it was that was getting the information and passing it along knows that Enon is involved. That's what it is. Nine of Cups and Queen of Wands. Somebody was getting something out of it, and that's why they're keeping their mouth shut. Something of value, something big, a promotion or money or some kind of product or substance, something was given to this Queen of Wands to keep her mouth shut because she knows who's involved, but she won't say anything because she's gotten something out of it. So a lot of people are questioning if it's possible that Brian is actually the accomplice and someone else committed it and is trying to set him up to take the fall for what they did. So let's just look into the energy around that. 10 of Cups, the Tower, and Justice in reverse. Is Brian the accomplice? No. I'm not seeing him as the accomplice. I'm seeing the possibility that he could play that card in the court of law, but I'm not actually seeing that being accurate. I mean, there's like two ways that I could read these three cards. One of them is what I just said, and there's like a 5% chance that these could in fact be saying that he was the accomplice, and the person that he's the accomplice for caused this Tower moment. But the 10 of Cups is upright. So to me, that's a team like working together properly. So if that's the case, it wouldn't be somebody else taking the fall for Brian, if that makes sense. But let's just double check. Is Brian only the accomplice in this? If they cross, it's a yes. If they don't, it's a no. So Brian is the one that committed these murders. You can see I'm not moving my hands at all. Yeah, Brian is the one, my opinion, allegedly, who committed the murders. There are other people involved, though, and I do feel like that neighbor Enon is one of them. Seems like he's the link to the link. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's looking like that's what it is. Like the actual female that's the link is very inaccessible to most people, especially when it has something to do with this operation. It's like only going to her if it's absolutely necessary. Otherwise, you go through Enon. All right, I want to start on the questions that everyone asked. Marlene C wants to know, is it possible that the murders were committed for two different reasons? BK murdered for his sick reasons, and the drug people wanted them dead for payback. I believe yes. So let's double check with the cards. 7 of Pentacles, hard work. both working very hard for their own purpose. The Emperor in reverse and 10 of Pentacles. So this is stating, yes, there is those different reasons, but one reason was more prevalent than the other reason. And by that I mean Brian wanted to kill. However, even if Brian didn't want to kill, these victims still would have ended up as victims because somebody else wanted them dead for another reason. It just so happens that Brian put himself in the position to go through with it. But did it happen for two different reasons? I believe so, yes, 100%. However, if one of those reasons would have been missing, the other ones would have still caused this to happen. So even if Brian, believe it or not, was not in the picture, somebody else would have ended up committing these murders because these people knew too much and somebody wanted them gone. Simple as that. Well, obviously it's not as simple as that because there's a lot of other factors, but the base reason that was unchangeable, that was going to happen with or without Brian, was that these people knew too much and they needed to be silenced. That happened through Brian because Brian was available and Brian was wanting to do this anyway. I don't know how that, I was going through my notes and in a previous reading, I said that connection kind of fell into his lap or fell together. I'm not exactly sure how. It seems very odd that it just so happens someone who wanted to murder had a conversation about it with someone who wanted somebody murdered. That seems like far-fetched, but there's some reason that it makes sense and comes together. I just can't figure out that direct reason. I almost am feeling, and I'm going to check this with cards, but I'm almost feeling like Brian's connection to this group or this organization did not begin when he went to Washington. I almost feel like he may have been kind of placed there or led there. Let me see what I get, because I could be off here. So let's just see what comes out. Ten of Wands reversed and Two of Cups upright. Yeah, he found something that helped him release or relieve his stress, pent up anger and frustration, something that gave him a purpose, something that if I can't have a relationship with a person or a girl or a female, this is the next best thing because I can be passionate about this. So it's something that gave him purpose that didn't begin when he went to Washington. It could be that he was a part of something similar in Pennsylvania and there was something similar in Washington, but I'm feeling like it was one and the same, just transferred somehow. I have this like really deep gut feeling that like, so there's other serial killers that like were in that area. I almost feel like, is it possible that sometimes this organization just has people mess up so they have to release them? And I can't really all the way explain what I'm seeing, but it's almost like this, like almost like getting deeper into this organization with certain things that are done, but then if you're caught, it's just kind of like you got to roll over because you can't turn on the organization, because even if you get out, there's you might as well just stay in there. So like I almost feel like some of these serial killers from the area, or at least one of them, I feel like has a connection to this same group. And I'm not exactly sure who, but there's some kind of connection. There's somebody else What I'm seeing is there's somebody else who made a similar uh-oh to what Brian did, or needed to be cut loose in some way, that is a known killer that we just don't know about their connection to this group, if that makes sense. But there is a connection. So yeah. Let's see. Alyssa Ann wants to know if Brian was planning on going back to college in Washington after the holiday. I thought there was a card turned over, but there's not. She read somewhere that he wasn't signed up for it. But it could have just been him not signing up yet. Two of Swords reversed, Judgment reversed. So Two of Swords reversed is like needing to make a difficult decision. Judgment reversed is not learning a lesson or doubting yourself. The Hanged Man, he wasn't sure what he was going to do. He wasn't sure yet. He was waiting till the absolute last minute because he wasn't sure what he was going to do. I mean, if this was something that began in Pennsylvania, they sent him out here to do a job and then come right back. But he still had everything in his apartment. Was he might have been planning on going. King of Cups. Reversed Knight of Wands. It was some kind of delay. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do yet. Why am I hearing family, 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 family? Family what? The Hierophant. Oh. It's almost like he wasn't sure if he was going to go back. Had to wait till the last minute. Had a feeling he didn't want to go back. But wanted to kind of make it look a certain way to his family so they wouldn't question him maybe. Like not bringing all of his stuff home and being like, okay, I'm done. But like being like, okay, after I've been home, I've realized that I want to come back home and I don't want to be there anymore. That kind of thing. Something about his mental health. He was going to blame it on something with his mental health. It would be like if he didn't sign up yet for classes or whatever, this is like he doesn't want to go back, but doesn't want to make his parents question him. So he doesn't want to be like, I'm bringing all my stuff back for the holidays. He wants to have to go back and get his stuff so it looks like it would be believable if he said something along the lines of, I realized after being home that I just don't want to be in Washington. I don't feel good there. I want to come back home. But I didn't realize this till I was home for Christmas. So that's what it was. Or something like that. Clarifier for that. Wheel of Fortune. Correct. Moving on. Which also, getting the plan rolling, getting the ball rolling, all of that. Okay, let me pause because a lot of these are comments and not questions, which is cool too, but I don't want to make you sit here while I'm reading them, so hold on one second. Okay. Tiffany Sheems wants to know, Do you think that Brian and Dylan were the people in the room that Hannah walked in on and saw what she saw? Huh. The devil. The Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords would be like before he graduated to killer. Nine of Pentacles would be the abundance of money flow. I would say I believe, honestly, that it was Dylan and either Maddie or Kaylee. Probably, I think Kaylee, but I'm not sure. I think it was two that was walked in on. But one of them was like doing something or part of something, like act, like, I don't know, something. Do I believe it was Brian? No. But I do believe it's someone. Could it be Enon? It's someone that's connected to Brian, but it's not Brian directly. It's like someone who... It's someone who is the reason that Brian was connected in the ways that he was. But did she walk in on something bad? Yes. This card just makes me really uneasy. It makes me feel like there was some kind of sexual element that was going on. I almost feel like that's what... I almost feel like that's what Hannah thought she saw, but she actually saw something else. It's something along those lines, but this card just makes me feel very uneasy about that. It is also drugs, a drug card. Drugs, sex, lust, you know, all that. But this particular card shows like the bondage and the chains, and that's what's making me a little bit... And then this fast moving energy next to this like peaceful female energy. It makes me feel like maybe there is a masculine energy kind of pushing the feminine energy around a little bit. So to answer the question, do I think it was Brian and Dylan? No. I think Dylan was probably one of two people that somebody knew a secret about. And I don't believe it was Brian directly, but I do believe it's someone that is connected to Brian. Was Dylan the bully, as in the bully of Hannah? Ace of Wands. High Priestess in reverse. Was Dylan the bully? Yes, Dylan was the bully. Or Dylan was a bully. Yes. But not in a direct way. Like, for some reason, she didn't want Hannah to know it was coming from her. I don't know why, but I'm getting that very strongly, that she didn't want Hannah to know it was coming from her, but it was her behind it. Will Dylan go to jail? Six of... I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Six of Pentacles and Page of Wands. Will Dylan go to jail? No. Dylan has some kind of help or protection. Some favors owed, some strings pulled. I don't know from where or how, but she does. And if that doesn't work, then she will give as much information as she possibly can without it getting her hurt, although that's probably not a lot. I would say before Dylan would go to jail, Dylan would go into witness protection because she would tell everybody everything that she knows. It would take her going to jail to get her to do that. And do they have enough to put her in jail? I don't believe so. And there's also some element of protection. I don't know where it's coming from. Where's her protection coming from? 8 of Cups. Temperance in reverse. It's like her protection is someone who is protecting her by leading things in a different direction. Like for example, it would be like if anytime her name starts to get brought up in a certain context, somebody else releases just enough information so that they look somewhere else or focus on something else for the time being. Granted, I don't know how long that can last, but that's the type of protection that she has. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's somewhere that that kind of input would make a difference. I don't know if I want to say like police or investigators. I don't know if I want to say that. It could be someone who has an ear of an investigator or officer. I don't know, but it's not like anyone's necessarily doing something illegal, I guess, but it's like someone's purposely trying to lead away from certain things coming out about Dylan. It's weird energy because it's like I'm helping you to some extent, and then I'm just gonna stop. I don't get it, but that's what it is. That's what I'm getting. Okay. Did Ethan and Zana know what Maddie and Kaylee knew, or what was going on in the house? Did Ethan and Zana know the Hermit in reverse? King of Swords in reverse. They didn't know all of it, but they knew some of it. But they didn't know about whatever it was that connected Brian. So, for example, let's just say that Kaylee and Maddie, and I don't know if this is, going to be it or not, but like, just for example, let's say Kaylee and Maddie found out who the link is. This would be like if Ethan and Zana knew about the drugs that Kaylee and Maddie knew about, but they didn't know about the link part that they knew about. So they knew something, but they didn't know everything. And they didn't know about the connection to Brian. So that makes me feel like they did not know who the link was. Which leads the question, did Kaylee and Maddie know who the link was? Queen of Cups. She was nice to them. They didn't know who she was when they met her, but she was nice to them. It would be like Kaylee and Maddie meet the Link, not knowing it's the Link, and then later find out it's her, and they're like, oh, she was really nice when we met her. That's what that energy is. The Star in reverse. Yeah, lost your way. Yeah. Yeah, they met the Link. The Link was nice to them. And then later on, they found out that the Link is who it is involved in some way. Sherry B wants to know, did Adam take the information to the boss and the plan went straight into action? Death. Did he take it straight to the boss? I don't believe so, but I do believe that. Six of Cups and the Fool. This is him passing it to someone else, not knowing. Did he know what the information was going to do? No. But did it get to the boss? Yes. Did it cause what happened? Big yes. What did Adam do with the information? He passed it to someone else, and that person passed it, not knowing what it was going to cause. Given the information that it was, you know, probably not expecting something good, but definitely not expecting what happened. Very Real wants to know, curious if law enforcement is involved in the business aspect of this. Chariot. Three of Cups reversed, and this particular card in the beginning was an image of the girls out that night. And why it's making me think of that. That's also a third party situation. Would I say that there is law enforcement involved in this underlying operation? I'm sure there are some officers who don't know anything about it. I'm sure there are some officers who have a hunch. I'm sure there are some officers who know about it and keep quiet. I'm sure that there are probably some officers who know about it and get paid to keep quiet. I'm sure there are officers that, you know, it may be a little bit of a slippery slope beyond that. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know how many are in each of those categories, but to put it very plainly, with an operation like this that is kind of in your face, looking at it from the outside in, when you look at the town, you look at everything that's going around information-wise, and you think to yourself, if we can figure this out, I kind of would hope that police in that area would at least have a hunch about it. So I'd be kind of scared if they didn't know about it. They might be doing a lot about it behind the scenes. But I do feel as though there is at least some law enforcement involvement. I also think there's some knowledge in some people's mind that they don't do anything with that knowledge about it and kind of just let it go, either for free or for an amount of money. You know, it could just be one bad egg that's involved, or it could be a whole group. But is there some kind of infiltration? I believe so. I do. Allegedly, my opinion, allegedly, my opinion. What card came out? King of Wands reversed. Huh. Should I say it? I guess I'll just say it. I believe that there is at least one person in law enforcement who is at least semi high up in this organization. At least one. But my feeling is that if there is one and that one is high up, my feeling, just from, you know, watching a lot of these type of shows, would be that there would be at least two, because the one would have to watch the other one's back and make sure that nothing's being said about possibly people finding out. But the King of Wands coming out reversed is making me feel like there's, like I said everything that I said, and then that card came out, so it's pointing to me like, yeah, but it's someone who has some kind of power and authority in both organization and police force. My opinion, allegedly. Okay. Valerie Velez wants to know, were Ethan and Zana also targets, or were they casualties because they heard things? Ace of Swords reversed. Four of Wands and Nine of Swords. So the Four of Wands is the environment, the home that they were in. The Nine of Swords is stress. And then the Ace of Swords reversed is like some kind of block to a plan, or some kind of block to a thought. It's also making not good judgments. It's also arguments. And Ethan got in an argument. No, I feel like they were not targets. The Nine of Swords is also sleep, so I feel like they were meant to be sleeping. Like something, I know it's hard to think of it as Ethan being drugged because, you know, there was nothing that came out in writing about that being a potential here, but I'm telling you, there was some reason that Ethan was not supposed to be awake that night. Either he wasn't supposed to be awake, or he wasn't supposed to be there. But he was a wrench in the plan, and he fought back. I do feel there was hostility towards Ethan. But I don't think that hostility was coming from the killer. It's like it's an energy coming from a different direction that I'm picking up on. Like the killer's over here, and then there's like this hostility coming from Ethan, coming from that way. I don't believe that they were the intended targets. Does the other part of this organization have anything to do with, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on here, so people moving. Does that have anything to do with people moving? Page of Pentacles reversed. which to me in this instance is demoralizing a woman to make money. Two of Wands. Knight of Cups reversed. Yes. I mean, this card coming out first to me is a big yes, because it's showing the woman upside down holding out the money. It's, to me, bringing up the shadow side of money in that way in terms of answering this question. The Two of Wands is like, should I do it? Should I not? So it's, but then we have the Knight of Cups, which is reversed next to it, which is usually a very romantic night when it's upright, but when it's reversed, it's very moody and like passionate in a negative way. So it's almost like when the women are trying to decide something, there's this kind of pushiness that pushes them into something. That's what I'm getting. January Jewel wants to know, my gut tells me BK wanted to watch the act as he drove the white truck killer back to his truck, and he is the killer. Could BK be the fall guy? Let's just see what we get about this. Five of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, the Sun. No. Five of Pentacles is telling me that there was money exchanged hands from Brian to someone else that worked as some kind of team, or it could be some kind of other IOU. No, I'm not getting that Brian was the driver, especially with his visual snow. I just don't feel like he would put himself in the position to be a driver of a vehicle in such an intense situation where that visual snow would be triggered. But in addition to that, I'm just not seeing that in the cards. I am seeing that there was a team effort. It had a lot to do with owing back of a debt or trying to advance in some way. But no, let me get a clarifier for this Sun card. The Nine of Wands reversed. Ten of Swords reversed. Yeah, no, Brian wasn't the driver. There was a driver, but it wasn't Brian. I almost feel like more than one person wanted to commit this crime or could have committed this crime. I don't know. Seven of Cups. Yeah, it's almost like this crime needed to be committed. Brian, I wonder if whoever was the driver was originally supposed to be the killer, and then somehow Brian got involved in this and became the person. That could be why so many people are picking up on that energy, because it was close to being that way. I don't know how to explain it, but the Seven of Cups coming out after that is about choosing between different options or making a choice between different choices. I don't understand it because I don't really understand what goes into these organizations on that end. So maybe it's something obvious that I'm missing, but it feels like more than one person was spoken to about this crime before it happened. But Brian was the one who did it. It could be that they maybe talked to different drivers. Maybe that's it. And maybe That could be it. That kind of feels like it. It's possible that whoever the driver was, it was initially supposed to be a different driver. If that's the case, why did it change? The Empress in reverse, because she said so. Strength in reverse. Somebody was doubting somebody. Whoever the original driver was supposed to be, there was some doubts about that person. What if it was Enon? Hear me out a second, okay? Let's say Enon is supposed to be the driver initially, especially because he lives close. So move Brian's car, park it, get out. But for some reason, he gets pulled off of this, gets mad, has that sheath planet with Brian's fingerprints on it. Is what I just said even remotely close to what happened? Seven of Wands reverse, giving up. Feeling defeated. I'm gonna pull 3 from this side and 3 from that side of this deck. What can we know that has anything to do with Enon or Enon's connection to Brian or Enon's connection to this murder? Anything like that. School. Okay. Life insurance, but it's in reverse. Life insurance. If he was supposed to be the driver, thought he was kicked off because of Brian, thought that maybe Brian was going to take over his spot. Credit card application is what it says. Credit card application, like getting a a line of credit a line of credit in the drug world would be like getting a branch or a section to run. What can I know about Enon's connection to Brian or anything to do with the murders? They're connected through school. Intergalactic travel, but it was in reverse. Revenge. Secret trip, but it's in reverse. secret trip, revenge, intergalactic travel, space travel, traveling somewhere where they can't see you. I believe that either Enon planted that sheath or he knows somebody that did. Somebody thought they were being pushed out because of Brian. This card is really scary looking. He was watching the house that night. He knew it was going to happen. He was watching the house. I am 99.9% sure, allegedly my opinion, that Enon had eyes on the house as the murders were happening. Which would mean that either he just happened to be randomly watching at that time, or he knew it was going to happen. Hold on one second. Okay. So I regathered the cards because I was running out. So I have a full deck again. Beverly West wants to know, how could Brian be so efficient and skilled in how he butchered 4 people so quickly, not being military trained? 10 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, and 10 of Cups. Somebody trained him. That's why. Somebody from his family. Somebody from his family or somebody that he considers family. So let's say this was an organization that he was a part of even in Pennsylvania. It could be someone that he became very close with in that organization, but someone that either was literally family or someone that he considers family trained him very hard to do it or to learn in some way. Bubbly Waters says he may have had a scuba, surf, or rafting wet/dry waterproof bag. The Magician in reverse. King of Cups. Yeah, that's the waterproof. I don't know if he had a waterproof bag. I think that what this is saying is he had the waterproof suit, which is close to the bag. But the waterproof is represented by the King, and then the Magician is like close but not quite. So I'm picturing him in this like full gear, not full gear, but like full body, very tight, thicker, black, full, it's like the full body, and it has like a, I'm pretty sure, excuse me, I'm pretty sure, I almost feel like the zipper of this is up the back, but he was wearing it so that the zipper was in the front. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm seeing that very clearly. My voice is going. Okay, got it back. Yeah, I'm feeling like a tight suit, but like it was flipped around so that it was easier to get off because he knew that he was going to have to take it off. Nothing gets in or out of those wet dry bags unless you want it to. I mean, I guess it is possible that he had one of them as well. But I feel like what this is saying is that he secured the knife in his suit. Like it was like something that wouldn't cut or wouldn't cut easily. and not putting it in like a sheath or a pocket. Like I'm seeing him literally sliding this knife up his sleeve. And I keep seeing it and seeing it. I don't know. I guess he could have had 2 layers on and slid it in between. I'm feeling more like it was 1 layer and he just was either very careful or something, but he put this knife up here. That's what I'm saying. This knife was up here at some point in the night. That particular sheath was marked with army markings, which is why it was the chosen one. What can we know about that? The sun. You're right. You are right. 5 of Swords. It was meant to create some kind of reasonable doubt. And the knife was purchased or obtained for these killings. It wasn't like the person, allegedly Brian, just happened to have the knife and did this anyway. This knife was purchased with doing these acts in mind. Did anyone take notice that the sheath looked brand new? You would think it'd be worn a bit, being an army issue. Knight of Wands reversed. Temperance reversed. So the Knight is the younger energy of the 2 masculine Wands energy. And then we have Temperance, which is about imbalance. So it's almost like this knife was not used. It was some kind of like shelf display prior. Like it wasn't that someone in the army had this knife and was using it over time. It's like someone either was given it or gifted it or something and had it sitting on a shelf. Due to that marking, have my suspicions planted there to tie it weakly to Brent. Eight of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, the 2 of Swords reversed. Needing to do something. Is it possible that there is like something the police have that could tie Enon, the neighbor, into either being in the house or something? It's almost, I'm getting this feeling like I didn't want them to eventually come after me, so I had to get somebody else in their radar. But it's not that he did it, it's just that he knew that they would eventually look at him. I mean, I guess that could have just been paranoia instead of like evidence, but I'm feeling more like it's something, either something they have or something he thought they could potentially get that would make Enon look like a suspect. And it's like before it even went that route, the sheath came into play. I don't know how it got in the house though. Because at first I was feeling like Brian left it, but I don't think that anymore. Brent was murdered. They didn't have enough evidence to guarantee that Brian would go down, so they provided their own. Queen of Cups. The woman who makes everything flow. The one that has always been sus to me is combat trained with 3 tours under his belt. Page of Wands. Ten of Wands reverse, delegation, telling people what to do. This would be the sidekick you're mentioning. Giving and receiving, 6 of Pentacles. I know that there's a lot of questioning if it could be someone else in Brian's being set up, but I don't believe that that's the case. I do believe that there's things in place that could make it look that way. I do feel like there's a lot of other things going on the sides. But I am strongly seeing Brian being the one that carried this out. But there's a lot of other people that are involved in different ways. But it's not that Brian had a bunch of friends that were helping him with this. It's different than that. It's everyone trying to cover their own butt in some way. Here. Where was I? I have a feeling Brian is going to take a few of the gang with him. Got a few tricks up his sleeve. The Moon. So yes. A few tricks up his sleeve. 4 of Swords reversed. Waiting for the right time. He does. And it's something that if it's the card is played too early, it won't work to get him free, but if it's played at the right time, it could potentially. Something to do with reasonable doubt. Okay, I'm going to do like 2 more because I'm getting a little tired, but I'm going to probably be able to do a video tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then Thursday. Yeah, someone's saying Bethany White said that there's a cooking woman she watches that has chopping and shredding gloves. Yeah, I'm seeing him wearing, it's like on his hands, like a glove that is slice proof, but it also has like a grip on it. Some kind of grip gloves that are slice proof. They're a little bit thicker, but not too thick. Well, that's a good question. Sherry Krause wants to know. Sherry Krause wants to know, what was Brian's energy when he heard Ellie found a knife sheath by Maddie? The Tower. The Wheel of Fortune. Five of Wands. 6 of Wands reversed. He thought it was part of the plan, but he was shook. He knew he had to go. He knew he had to run. So let's say Brian's in the car telling his dad, oh, I'm being set up for this. Because in his mind, he is. Because he didn't leave that sheath there. Somebody else put it there. So he had that ability to really convince himself of his own lie and make it very believable. The Six of Wands being reversed is kind of about him leaving. It's almost like he heard about them finding the sheath, was like, is this part of the plan, or how does this fit into the plan, or how did that happen? But if he knows that he didn't leave the sheath, then he knows that there's somebody not happy with him. I wonder if it's possible that I don't know if I want to say that part because that might mess with part of the investigation. I'm not going to say that part. How did he feel? He knew he had to get out of there, and he knew that somebody else was not happy with him. He wasn't expecting that to happen. So that means that the next morning he didn't go back for the sheath if he didn't leave the sheath. The Tower is also like the plans change. The Queen of Swords. He thought the link turned on him. He thought the link turned on him, but it's actually somebody that's under her that did. I don't know if it was from her direction or not. I don't feel like it was. I feel like that knife was planted to make it look like Brian messed up, to get him out of the picture. It's like if one employee wants another employee gone, so the one employee goes in and messes up the other employee's work so that the other employee gets fired. That's... It's weird though, because it's not... I don't believe that this killer was a hitman. Like, there's so many layers to this that kind of fell together in a really weird way. I don't think it's a hitman. I think it's like the right place at the right time for an opportunity to come together, for one person to silence someone while one person gets to live out their sick fantasy. I also want to pull one of these. What was Brian's energy when he heard that Ellie found a sheath by Maddie? It's in reverse. Golden Empress. And it was in reverse. I just said he thought the link turned on him. And we have Golden Empress in reverse. Jewel of Abydos. Potency, confidence, and magnetism. But it was in reverse. What was his immediate thought when he found out that they found a sheath? He thought that she turned on him. He probably still thinks she turned on him, but it wasn't her. That's the hole that Maddie was talking about in their plan. Oh, and look what card was underneath of it. Nyx, Enchantress of the Night, Secrets, Vigilance, Subterfuge. This is the card that in the other reading, it was... In that reading that we made the map of, this one was north, and it was up there with illegal substances playing a role in the surrounding factors, and that was north above everything else, and this represented the link. And then under that, in reverse, I have the card Addicted with the drug factor here. right. We'll do one more. So what was he feeling? Yeah, he felt like she turned on him. That's why he wants to play his card at the right time, because if he thinks that she turned on him and he knows that she knows what she's doing, I don't know how to explain it. It's like he would believe that she has everything set up to get the outcome that she wants. So he needs to make sure that he plays his plan perfectly so that it counteracts whatever she has planned. I wonder if she did turn on him. I don't think so. Renee Morero. I'm not saying that right. I'm sorry. She said about how when they were walking with Adam, Adam told something and it got to the controller or the link person, and how they said, quote, they are going to get you for that. The 5 of Cups came out. The Ace of Swords in reverse. Regret. And then the Ace of Swords is representing what happened. And the Page of Swords. So yeah, this is the person that gave the information. This is the information and what it caused. And this is regret. So yeah, it absolutely has something to do with whatever was told to Adam that night. You literally cannot convince me otherwise. My opinion, but you cannot convince me otherwise. I do not believe what Adam is telling the story about it having something to do with getting back together with an ex. My personal opinion is that that is not even slightly true. All right, let's wrap this up. I'm going to pull one of these and then just 2 more tarot to confirm whatever message we get here. Cell phone records may provide important clues. Jealousy, an affair, or a love-related crime, which I don't believe is entirely accurate, but I was just saying about the motive, so maybe it's saying that that also plays a role, but let's just get Justice in reverse. The World in reverse. Huh. I almost feel like, oh, and this might sound bad. I'm not saying this to bash anyone, but I'm almost feeling like this is pointing towards how the girls called the one ex that night 10 times and he didn't answer. I feel like he saw the calls and didn't answer on purpose. And I don't know if that's because he was directed to and just didn't realize why, or because he was feeling kind of salty about something. I don't know. I don't feel like he per se had a role in the murders, but I feel like he didn't answer that night for some kind of, he felt slighted in some way, but I feel like he had a feeling that that phone call was, I don't know, not good. I don't know. I'm seeing him see the phone ringing and not answer it. I'm not getting anything more than that, really. And I don't really know if it would have made a difference if he did answer it. Four of Wands and Judgment in reverse. Him being at home, misreading the situation. Yeah, it's almost like there was some kind of petty energy from him to the girls that night. I don't really know if answering the phone would have made a difference. I don't think it would have. But I do feel as though he saw that phone ringing and didn't answer it for some reason. I'm just going to say, I don't feel as though he's involved, the ex. But I feel like he knows more than what he has said. Either about surrounding factors or about what ended up happening. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's wrap it up with three main elements from Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, Zana. Three main elements that we should be focusing on right now. Image and aura. So the face that people are portraying is not matching their energy. This was in reverse. Masculinity, ego, self, creativity. But it was in reverse. So some kind of, no, masculine, reverse, sun, the feminine energy. Feminine energy that puts on a totally different mask to the world than how she actually is. They're trying to paint the picture of the link. The unknown, but it's in reverse. Surrender, dreams, and I keep saying it's the link, Brian, and one other person involved in this, and there's 3 people on this card. What do they want us to focus on? What do the Idaho 4 want us to focus on? These 3. How their energy doesn't match how they are. It's almost like they're saying it's obvious. Like when you see this person talk, their energy doesn't match what they're saying. Even when it's about something unrelated or unimportant, it's like when you look at this person, that's the link, their energy doesn't vibe with their face. Like their facial expressions and their energy and their aura don't match this feminine energy. And that is the sign we're supposed to be looking for. So I know that there's a lot of people saying, is it possible it's this person or that person? That's the link. Your clue is you're going to want to watch videos of the person that you're suspecting. You're going to want to watch their face. No. You're going to want to close your eyes. Okay, so if you're suspecting a certain person and you can get access to some kind of video of that person speaking, you're going to want to close your eyes, listen to the video in its completion, or as much of it as you want to watch. Go back to the beginning of that same video, watch it again with your eyes open, watching it. If how you pictured that person's face being during that speaking in your mind with your eyes closed is so vastly different from how their face looks in the video, you could be onto something, because that's a sign that we're looking for from this feminine energy. That's the link. That's a clue that they have passed on to us now. Hopefully that will help narrow it down. I know that a lot of people can have that quality, but for some reason, that's what's sticking out as a potential clue. So the person's facial expression, the person's energy, it just doesn't match. It feels off, but it's not that, it's not like, I don't know how to explain it. it's not that the person is being overly fake, like using a goofy voice that's not their voice, or extending their words in a weird way. It's nothing like that. It's just that the person doesn't know how to match their energy with their face. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Their face doesn't match what they say. Their face doesn't match their energy, but in a way that they can't control. That's the link. That's the link person. I don't know how long this is, but I'm going to pause. As I said, I will do another video. I'm going to continue going through the questions. Oh, I thought we were close to the bottom, but we're not. Yeah, I'm going to continue going through the questions. I'm probably going to do about one more video about this length, going through the questions, just to see what other pieces we can get. And then I'm going to do the long video from the Dropbox link, which is in the description. Essentially making index cards with all of that information on it, and then figuring out north, south, east, and west, and figuring out what connects to what piece. So one more reading and then that reading. That's the big reading. I feel like that's going to help us figure out a lot, because it's going to show us where the connections are for the pieces of the puzzle that we've already gotten from previous readings. So that will be next, or that one more, and then that, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, talk to you guys soon.